Well, the United States has begun easing sanctions against Burma as a reward for its first political reforms. They include the freeing of political prisoners in recent weeks and the scheduling of parliamentary elections in April. But how genuinely reform-minded are the generals who back the current civilian government? One man who knows Burma from inside its main prison is Australian Ross Dunkley, the former editor-in-chief of the Myanmar Times and still its publisher. Ross Dunkley ran the paper for 10 years until his sudden fall from grace last year, when he was charged with numerous offences and endured 47 days in jail. He'd been participating in a documentary film, Dancing with Dictators, about his role as a newspaperman in one of the world's most repressive countries. He joined me to talk about his ordeal from Bangkok, but first, this report from Lateline's Kerry Brewster.
Arrested and thrown into Rangoon's notorious insane prison last year, Ross Dunkley's future as a Burmese newspaper proprietor looked grim.
Okay? Yeah, okay, no problems, yeah. I don't think you are okay. Sure? Absolutely.
The West Australian journalist turned editor-in-chief is the central subject of a film about the Burmese and English language Myanmar Times and its coverage of the discredited elections of 2010.
This is not one of the big boys here, is it?
For years, the junta's censorship board had made the newspaper's publication a frustrating weekly round of redactions and rewrites.
Yet all I know is they want us to change the heading.
But sensing political change, Ross Dunkley recently appeared to be pushing the boundaries imposed by the regime's long-practiced near-zero tolerance of press freedom.
The military will never again seize power from a democratically elected government. I mean, it was in Burmese, but you should try and dig it out from here. What is the exact statement?
If you want to instigate change, then you have to be on the field. Anyone who's screaming from the sidelines is just a shriek that's going off into the wilderness.
Whether it was his editorial daring, the presence of an Australian film crew, or the suspected business manoeuvrings of his new regime-imposed partner, Ross Dunkley was suddenly facing numerous criminal charges. They included a murky allegation of assault involving a woman he'd met in a Rangoon bar.
Well, there's no doubt that the incident with the girl was a setup, and it was part of a very deliberate attempt to embarrass Ross and perhaps have him removed from Myanmar.
He joined his original business partner, Sonny Sway, in prison, where he's serving a 14-year sentence for breaching censorship regulations. Ross Dunkley's new partner, Dr Tin Tun Oo, who'd unsuccessfully contested a parliamentary seat for the military-backed USDP party, denies any involvement. After 47 days locked up, the Australian was out on bail. All but one minor charge dropped.
I feel delighted, of course. I feel disgusted by some of the media that's reported on this case.
But the experience has damaged the newspaperman's prospects. He was forced to give up his editor-in-chief role to his new partner and is limited to single-entry tourist visas. He keeps, however, his 49% stake in the paper. Kerry Brewster, Lateline.